As we are set to go green here for a never-before-seen moment here in Hardee's National Series, a standing start. Shade Eves and John Arndt are on the front row, awaiting the green light, and they get the green. We are underway here at Road 1. Eves immediately gets a good start and clears the 77 of Diego Yepes as we enter turn number 1 on this very, very long road course here. Eves gets the lead. Diego Yepes right behind him in the 77 from second place. Both those two got the ideal start that they wanted. And we'll see what they'll be able to... They're going to see if they're going to try and pull away here as John Arndt and Alex Benyako behind for third place side by side. Eves pulls out to a decent lead here as we go through a great camera angle that shows the nice foliage on the just outside the track instead of showing the cars. But this track has got a lot of pretty sharp corners, a lot of long corners as well, and it's going to be very interesting to see how well these guys are going to be able to pass. Passing is definitely going to be a very difficult thing for a lot of these guys because the way this track is shaped and the way these cars are, there is not a lot of very strong openings. As we go through the S's here, Shade Eve still in the lead. Yepes in second place. Arn manages to clear for third. Nick Pericles has found some trouble here in turn number 1. And here's what happened as Jake West, him and Ryan Dagby went 3 wide in turn 1, and it did not work out very well. Not long after the Nick Pericles accident, this little scrap happens as Jack Hallett got into the back of Tyler Black into Luke Martin, which has given the 22 some side damage. Some debris fell off the 22. Hallett all over the bumper of the 84, his teammate. Not exactly the best start here. Remember 2 weeks ago, Carbondale, the first incident of the day, involved 2 Spartan cars getting at it. Shade Eves comes across to lead the first lap here. Lap times are expected to be in the 2.5 minute range, so 2 minutes and 30 seconds roughly. Eves, your current points leader, looking to extend that points lead today. Diego Yepes, however, just behind him, keeping up with him. Currently the top 5 is Shade Eves, Diego Yepes in second, John Arndt in third place, Bradley Bishop Jr. in fourth, and Kyle Collins in fifth. So of the top 5, only one of these cars has a win this season, with that being John Arndt, who won at Auto Club. So a very good opportunity for these guys here, especially with how difficult passing is expected to be today. This is not a race where you want to lose track position. Battle for 15th here as Jack Halleck is all over the bumper of the 84. He is literally right on his bumper, pushing him through the corner there. And whoa, no trouble! Tyler Black's been shoved off track by Jack Halleck, and Black is in the sand, I should say. He was in the grass technically for a moment, but Black in the sand, and he is going to be stuck, and he's going to be needing a tow. Black doing some sandcastles there. I'm not quite sure what that's accomplishing, but I guess find some joy through pain, I suppose. So for the second straight week in the opening laps, 2 Spartan cars have gotten together here. As I'm not sure if Halleck was genuinely mad at his teammate, which I doubt, or Halleck just made a bit of a mistake on entry there. So unfortunate for Tyler Black, as he got sent into the ground. I mean, getting sent into the wall by a teammate last week was bad, and 2 weeks ago, I should say, it was bad. Now you got a car stuck in the sand. One of the interesting storylines of the weekend has been the 17 of Dylan Schwalmberg, who is making his first Hardee start of the season. Schwalmberg had managed to qualify through the go or go home qualifying section with relative ease, but unfortunately a mistake in qualifying, which resulted in him going off course, relegated him to a 38th place qualifying position here. However, Schwalmberg has already made up some good time here. He is up to 29th, but this is going to be a very long drive through the field for this 17 car. And let me tell you, this 17 car has not been the most lucky so far in their part-time efforts this season. Schwalmer gets underneath Tim Fiegel here, but this is where the passing gets a little difficult here. Schwalmer tries to use the curbing there to help him out, but Fiegel fights him off on the outside line. Oh boy, oh, Schwalmer gets into the back of Fiegel there. Definitely impatient, a bit impatient there. He wants to move through this field as quick as possible, and Fiegel's not helping him out. But the 17 car has not had the best start to their part-time season. Marchesi getting into the wall and losing pace at Vegas. Matthew Rodriguez getting involved in an early accident at Auto Club. And now they've got Schwalmberg, who unfortunately went off track in qualifying, so the 17 team needs some positivity, and we'll see. Schwalmberg is a very, very strong road course racer and should be able to climb his way through. Meanwhile, they are 3 wide up ahead there as we cut away. Ryan Butcher, coming off his first career win, is side by side with Jeff James and Dunn LaPrade. Ryan Butcher has not had a very good follow-up weekend from his win here, and they're still 3 wide. This track is not meant for 3 wide, but they're making it work. James trying to clear LaPrade. LaPrade and Butcher fight next to him, and Butcher around the outside makes the defensive maneuver. I was going to say pass, but he was actually in front of these two at the beginning of the lap. We mentioned Ryan Butcher getting his first to win in the Hardee Series at Carbondale 2 weeks ago. Also a driver coming off one of their first career victories, this time in the Sony Cup Series, is Alex Beniaco, driving the 1 car for CM Racing this weekend. Beniaco had a good start, as I believe he was battling for 3rd at one point on the opening lap, but has so far fallen down to 7th place here behind Noah Hart. So Beniaco taking his time here. The leader is still up ahead. Eves has not really been able to completely pull away from this field. So most of this top 10 still pretty much in the hunt here. Currently at the very back of the field, 41st, is James Ellison, who was running a couple positions higher than this, but has suddenly dropped back here. We're not too sure if maybe he has a mechanical issue or something may have gone wrong with the 93, but we're trying to find an angle to see what happened with Ellison. He was several positions higher than this, so what on earth happened? We're being told this happened back on lap number 2. And ooh, Ellison makes a mistake on entry, might have got a little bit loose and went off into the grass there, so Ellison off track and was running in 40th, so this has not been a very good weekend for Ellison. It's not been a very good weekend for Shea Beniaco Racing, to be honest, with Butcher running in the mid-20s. Another driver I'm quite actually surprised is not having a very good weekend so far is RJ Bishop in the 71. Bishop's been has actually been scoring the most points out of anyone in the field for the last 4 races, and he is currently sitting in 39th, having a big issue getting through the field here. You can see Nick Pericles, I mean, he got spun on lap 1. He's already making up positions here, or at least attempting to. He's gotten past Ellison, Commons, and Bishop, and now trying to work on Ross Jackson. So Bishop, Ellison, they got work to do here. You can see, though, Ellison is trying to make up some time here. I think the 93 is a little bit faster than what's being shown. First stop of the day for Shade Eves and what's looking like the entire field. So everyone coming down to pit road at the start of lap 7 here. So it looks like most teams are kind of copying the same strategy here. Actually, one car does stay on an extra lap. I believe that's Kukalon, the 92. I think he's going an extra lap here. So we'll see the race off pit road here. Eves and Yepes are the default 1-2 for the moment here, as debris is now on the 77. I think Arn may have gone into him, and there's also some debris back there near Sean Angel, and yeah, you know, just a hunch, but I got a feeling Angel may have hit someone on pit road again for what's probably the 10th time this season, as Eves easily beats out Yepes off of pit lane. That's going to increase the lead for Eves, pending he gets it back when the rest cycles through, but considering Kukulon was outside the top 15, I'm assuming that will be the case. So Eves and the 3 team. Great stop here on lap number 7. So in this week's edition of Who Did Sean Angel Hit on Pit Road? Why, it would be Nick Breeding in the 54 in the FBRL ignition car. Yeah. You know, at first it was a running gag, but now it's starting to get a little ridiculous on behalf of Sean Angel. I got to imagine officials have to be starting to get a little impatient with Sean Angel's lack of awareness on pit road. And that's going to cost him several spots here, as he has some issues here. Other cars having issues too. DeMax is having a problem getting off his stall. He finally launches the car. I think it's stalled out and he just couldn't get it through, and that is unfortunate there for DeMax. Brandon Crasta also had issues on pit lane getting his car refired, so he has lost several positions. He's going to fall outside the top 20, I believe. So, bad couple of stops here for a few teams. Not what they needed, and getting track position here is so difficult, and it's going to be so difficult to pass. Crasta and DeMax got to put on one heck of a recovery drive here. Whoa, Crasta off into the grass there. That was interesting. Oh my goodness, Crasta using every bit of the racetrack he can, as he is now in desperation mode trying to make up some spots here next to Dunlap-Pratt. As this is the battle for 22nd here. Crasta's definitely faster than this 42. You can see it is powering ahead of the 42 on the straightaway here. But can he clear LaPrade for the pass? He does. Crasta goes through and gets the spot. Oh, look at this. We got a pass for the lead here. Diego Yepes has gone to Shade Eves. Yepes out of nowhere. He was like a second or two back behind Eves, but he has caught him and has gone past him with relative ease. Eves has already fallen behind into second place here, and oh, wait a minute, I think that 3 may got a problem. That 3 does not look very healthy in the corners. Look at it. Bishop is easily going to get to him here. Shade Eves here having a little bit of a problem here on this lap here. He's lost the lead. He's lost second place. And now he's fallen to third. Something's gone wrong with the 3. He's coming to pit road. Shade Eves from the lead with an issue. We're still waiting on what the problem may be, but this is going to put the 3 car off cycle. And that's a shame. This 3 team has been dynamite for most of the season so far, even without a win. Consistently strong, consistent finishes even after bad things happening. And this is the first problem I think they've really had this season. We're being told the issue with Shade Eves was one of the tires was not secured properly, supposedly, and he had to kind of limp it around there. I guess the tire may have been coming apart due to not being secured properly, so the 3 team had to call him down pit lane here, or else risk an accident. So nice job by Eves to carefully get that thing back to pit lane and not out of this race there. That could have been really bad if the tire fell off. But Eves, I mean, this is going to be a big problem here because they're going to have to pit again. Most teams are going to go for a 2-stop here. He's going to have to go for a 3-stopper. So Eves is going to have to run some very fast laps here. Considering the lead he had, I don't think he will fall to last even if he pits the 3rd time. But what position he'll end up being, I'm not too sure. But we shall see. Whatever. I mean, they've got the tire problem fixed. They've got probably one of the fastest cars in the field. They may be able to still scrounge up a pretty decent finish from this, all things considered. Diego Yepes has inherited the lead from the 3 cars prom here, as they are now at the halfway point. Yepes with a 2.1 second lead over Bradley Bishop Jr. Well, the fortunate thing for Yepes is this time he didn't have to spin Eves to get by him on a road course. So Yepes now with the lead here, but will he be able to hold on to it there? He'd been keeping up with Eves pretty well for most of the race up to that point. So that pace is going to be pretty equal to what was happening to him before. Bishop in second place here. Kyle Collins in third place, who had one of his best finishes at Old Spice. So road courses are definitely something the 41 team is looking forward to. Kev Shear up in fourth place here. Was looking also strong at Old Spice before his incident with Yepes. Now running in the top 5. Jesse Turner in the 64. Making one of his limited starts for Spartan this season. He's gotten the 64 team their best finish, which was third in Las Vegas. Trying to equal or one-up that a little bit there. We're being told something may be wrong with the 06 here. He has lost several positions over this lap. And that car's having a really tough time slowing down there as Smith comes across the 04, Patrick Smith, and he gets spun. But TJ Smith with the problem here, I think he may have a brake problem there. They're going to have to bring that 06 to pit road. Oh no, Ryan Dagby, he's off the pace. I think something's wrong with the 32. Ooh, Dagby, he is swerving all over the racetrack here. He's lost 2 spots this lap. Actually 3 now. As, ooh man, that 32 does not look healthy at all. Oh no, Ryan Dagby, he was running in 11th place here. And that was a really strong looking run for this 32 team, who are just hovering in the top 30 in owners points. And not to mention one of their best runs of the season, probably since Acosta. And we're being told it's a brake problem, just like the 06 of TJ Smith. So that's one SD Motorsports car and one SD Motorsports affiliated car with a brake problem. That does not bode well for the rest of the team here. Dagby's going to have to he's going to have to try and limp it to pit road. Here's Griffin Lapo McDermott, currently running in 27th here, and you got to imagine that team must be feeling a little nervous right now, and that 04 team as well. 2 of the 4 S3 and S3 related cars with brake problems in 2 laps here. So McDermott, who actually went off track like Schwalberg did in qualifying and had to start 38th. I should correct earlier, Schwalberg actually started 37th, not 38th. Griffin was the one who started 38th. He went off track a little bit worse than Schwalberg did and had a way worse time. And like Schwalberg, Griffin's trying to work his way through the field. He's actually done a pretty decent job, all things considered. And he had a really strong run at Kentucky, so we know Griffin's actually got some speed in these cars. But the concern is now going to be less of his driving, it's going to be more if the car can hold up. And the same feeling has to be for Patrick Smith, who is a little bit farther back. So here are the 3 cars who are now off cycle here and are now going to have to pit a 3rd time in comparison to the rest of the field. Shade Eves, Ryan Dagby, and TJ Smith. As you can see, those 2 have gone back on the racetrack here. And whoa, TJ! Show some patience, buddy. It's not really much of a hurry at this point. Well, I guess I suppose it is. You got a hot lap now to make up some time, but Dagby, I think he just came off pit road, so I think his tires are cold. That's why he's a little bit slower than that 06. We're coming up soon on the final pit stop of the day for most of these teams here. Here's Sebastian Kukulon running in 14th here. Kukulon, remember, stayed out an extra lap here, so he has 1 lap fresher tires than the guys around him. Kukulon had a really strong run at Carbondale 2 weeks ago, and this 92 team, I mean, if you really have watched, this 92 team has actually had some pretty strong runs. It's just been bad luck, and getting involved in incidents has been keeping this 92 car outside the top 30 in owners points, but these last couple races, they've started to pick it up here, and if they can get a really solid finish here today, they're going to be really close now, especially with a couple of guys in the top 30 in points, having some problems today. Kyle Collins and Kev Shear are going to kick off the final stop of the day. So they're going to go for an undercut here to try and make up some time on Yepes, as Yepes has pulled away to a pretty decent lead over these guys. So we'll see if fresh tires work out for them. The only concern is going to be fuel, but I think they should be able to make it on fuel even from here, so we'll see how this shakes out. One lap later, Diego Yepes comes in, and he's going to bring Bishop and Turner with him as well. I think this should be the rest of the field. The whole field basically pitted on the same lap earlier, so I don't expect it to be much different. Here's the race off for the lead. Yepes has completed his pit stop here, and Kev Shear has gone in front of Kyle Collins, and now he's going to be right with Diego Yepes here. Yepes comes up and shuts the door. Shear got a really fast run through turn 1, but Yepes cut him off. Ooh, Kev Shear, he can sense an opportunity here. Pitting early has given him a shot here. They were 2 seconds back, and they were able to make up the 2 seconds with that one undercut. But now, I mean, passing is going to be so difficult here. Yepes is going to have to defend like his life depends on it. Shear, he is all over the back of the 77. He needs to make this pass fast, because once Yepes' tires warm up, I think he should be able to get back up to pace as he was before. Shear all over the 77. He wants this lead. He wants this win. This Zero team, they're trying to make up from that Daytona penalty still as we're approaching the halfway point of the season. They've had some really strong runs, and a win here would be a very big help here. They had a great run at Carbondale, almost won, and they do not want to have another one slip past them. But you can see Yepes, he's got those tires warmed back up, and now he's starting to make up a gap on Shear. So Shade Eves is now back in the top 10 because he is off cycle, so he's going to have to pit one more time. But this is basically the amount of time he's kind of lost due to the problem he had and how much he's made up. So he's done a pretty good job, all things considered. So it'll be interesting to see where he shakes out here. I think he may even come back out, maybe in the top 30 at least. So we'll see once he comes to pit road for the final time here. He should be coming in pretty shortly. Well, we got an issue here. Aiden Shepard into the back of Luke Martin, the 22. And that's going to put him in pit road. Martin has been forced onto pit road by Aiden Shepard. Oh, man. Luke Martin, he just came off pit road that lap, and now he's been forced back into it. And, you know, at this point, you might as well just put tires on. Well, they're going to have to fix that right side damage as well. So, yeah, you might as well just put the tires on. But, oh boy, that could be a penalty for Aiden Shepard. That is not going to be well looked on by the officials there. Let's see what led up to this here. Aiden Shepard, he was creeping behind the 22 of Luke Martin, as you can see here. And Shepard, yeah, I mean, he just straight up just impatiently gets into the back of Martin and forced him on the pit lane. And that is going to be a bit of a no-no. I cannot imagine how Luke Martin in that 22 team must be feeling right now. Oh my goodness. So Sebastian Kukulon, he has started a train, it looks like, as Shane Eves comes to pit road for the final time there. And ooh, Bobo Jones looking for almost 3 wide on his teammate of Dylan Schwalberg there. And Kukulon, I mean, this is a gaggle behind him. This is nuts. They're all nose to tail. Shepard trying to hold off Schwalberg here, who is still slowly climbing his way through the field as he has gone into the top 20. I think Schwalberg can maybe feel a top 15 run here at the very minimum. Or at the very best, I suppose. Shepard side by side with Allen here. Trying to make a pass on her. Jones getting a little bit of a run here. Remember, this is a long straightaway. We got some draft involved here. And Jones, he's going to make it 3 wide. He moves the 86 to the inside lane, but Jones cannot complete the pass on the inside. Allen fights back around. This is a great battle here. Oh, we got a problem behind. Jeff James has been spun. LaPrade and Crasto involved. A wreck involving several cars in the top 20. And we'll have to look at that one. That has now cost Don LaPrade several spots there, and that's a bit of a yikes moment there. They were battling to get inside the top 20. So here's what happens here. Jeff James checks up for the battle in front of him here. LaPrade gets an opportunity here. And LaPrade impatiently just shoves the 96 into the corner. And that is not going to be looked on favorably by Justice Wrigley Racing, that's for sure. My goodness. LaPrade had a shot at a top 20 finish here today, and he's ruined himself and Jeff James's race here. Back at the lead, Diego Yepes has pulled out to a 2-second lead over Kev Shear here, as this is the battle for second place. It's Bishop and Shear. They get into each other, and Shear's been spun around. Shear in the wall and in the sand. Can he get out of it, though? Shear, no, he can't get out. He's stuck in the sand. Kev Shear from second place has been spun by Bradley Bishop Jr. And now he's playing in the sand, trying to find some happiness, just like I am right now. And that is a shame. Shear was having a really strong race today. So what exactly led up to this incident here? Shear, I think, was losing pace from pitting early. And Bishop, you could see, I think he may have given the Zero a small bump there, which might have been his warning shot. And then here we go, entering the corner where the incident happened. Bishop comes down low. Shear throws a little bit of a small block, and Bishop just... I'm not sure if he did that out of frustration or he just generally just mistimed the braking corner. The braking in that corner there, that almost kind of looks very similar to the Halleck and Black incident. Well, this is certainly going to be a very interesting post-race debate over that incident. It kind of looked like Kev Shear did throw a block, in fairness to Bishop Jr., but the question is going to be, did Bishop do that intentionally, or was that maybe just a genuine mistiming with the braking zone there? We're not too sure. I'm sure it'll be discussed heavily post-race there. But Bishop Jr. has lost second place to Kyle Collins as a result of that incident, and Yepes is probably a very happy camper for that incident, as that's now going to increase the gap a little bit more than it already was. Oh, we got an issue here. Patrick Smith and Jeff James have gone into each other on the final corner. Huh. Jeff James, he was still hopping around with that damage there and was off the pace, and didn't look like he was even going to head towards pit road, and Smith just turned him. So apparently there was actually some lead up to this potentially here. You see Jeff James and LaPrade, who got involved, they are hopping around with that damage that they both got and the time they lost, and you can see Jeff James on the bottom lane holding up the 04 of Patrick Smith, and Smith trying to get by, even goes into the curb to try and pass them, and now he gets stuck because Voiles and Pericles occupy the lane next to him. So Jeff James unintentionally costing the 04 several spots. And I think this was the result. Patrick Smith showing his frustration with Jeff James, and honestly, I can't exactly blame him for that, although I don't think that was really Jeff James's intent. This track is very thin. There's not a lot of room to get out of the way. That's another incident that's going to be interesting to debate about post-race there. But that has cost Patrick Smith some spots with 5 laps to go. Bound for third here, Jesse Turner making a move on Bishop Jr. Turner around the inside, trying to make the pass here. Bishop fights back on the outside. So Turner trying to find a way through. Bishop blocks the inside. And he's going to hold Turner for now, but that was an attempt by Turner, but just could not find his way through. So all the chaos of the last couple of laps has suddenly put the 36 of Ace Wild in the top 25 for the first time since Daytona, I believe. So the 36 team, not exactly the fastest, but they're keeping up pretty well here. And I guess in a way it kind of makes sense. This 36 team, they were scheduled to race Carbondale, but was not able to get a driver, so when it comes down to it, this 36 team has actually had some extra weeks of prep for this race. So I guess it actually is kind of paying off here. Now granted, they're top 25 because of a lot of certain prompts that have happened in front, but when you're a team like Young Motorsports and the season they've had, you take what you can get at this point. I mean, beating Ryan Butcher right now, who is second in points, is still a pretty decent accomplishment, all things considered. Griffin Lapo McDermott's been called to pit road. With 3 laps to go, McDermott to pit road. But why so late? Ross Jackson, Commons coming in, LaPrade coming in as well. Gas and go, doesn't even put tires on. Did they not put enough fuel in the car? Are you kidding me? Griffin Lapo McDermott was running in the top 20 just like he was at Kentucky, and they've had another issue with the car. This time they didn't put enough fuel in the damn thing. And it looks like others had the issue as well. Jackson, Commons, LaPrade to pit road. SJ Motorsports is not having a good day. My goodness, and you gotta feel for Griffin, man. From back of the field to the top 20, as a driver with so limited experience in the series. Oh my goodness, that is frustrating. Sean Angel also had to come down pit lane the lap prior here. We only just now caught this. He also did not have enough fuel to make it to the end. So Sean Angel, who was on track for a top 15, top 10 finish even, is now going to fall to the back. Well, there hasn't been too much passing today, but my goodness, there's been a lot of chaos. It's just constantly, lap after lap, something happening. And most of it's not even racing related half the time. It's people getting mad at each other, mechanical failures, pit strategy mess ups. This is one interesting way to close out this race at Road 1. Two laps to go for Diego Yepes in the 77 for Turner Performance Racing. Looking for the team and manufacturer's first win of the season here. Yepes occupying the lead. Kyle Collins, Bradley Bishop Jr. battling for second. Jr. sits in third. Jesse Turner has been quietly humming around in fourth place. Has not really been able to make a lot of passes today. John Arnn, who has slowly fallen down to 5th place from his really good start. Nick Breeden, Gatlin Downey behind him. Corey Williams, Noah Hart, and Alex Benyako occupy the top 10. Coming up on the white flag here in a moment. And this has been an interesting battle. It's been going on for basically the last 10 or so laps. Schwalmberg has been behind Kukalon for half this race now, and Schwalmberg trying to find a way through. Kukalon doing a really nice job holding him off, all things considered. Granted, Kukalon had a bit of a better starting position, but hey, you know, it's the small things at this point. Up in front of them, who has had a probably quiet day and a good kind of quiet day, is Jake West. Currently running in 11th place on what could be Joseph Wrigley's Racing's best finish of the season for that whole team. Or at least one of their best finishes, I believe. And Kuklon still trying to hold off Schwalmberg here. A couple of more cars to pit road. And these guys are also short on fuel. Bobo Jones, Aiden Shepard, Tim Fiegel, Ryan Reed, all having to come in for one final time. So a lot of cars not going to be able to make it. They're all having to make a third stop here to make it on fuel. Now just to point something out here, Diego Yepes pitted the lap after Bobo Jones did. Most of these guys behind him in the top 10 did as well. So they are one extra lap to the good, which is why I don't think fuel is going to be much of a concern for these guys at this point. So Yepes here, you mean he can, I mean if he wanted to he could save fuel, he's got a decent gap to do it. As he's coming up on the white flag here. Bishop Jr. still trying to get past Collins, but has not been able to find a way through. Turner's just not been able to get any pace to get past these two himself as well. White flag for Diego Yepes in the 77 for Turner Performance Racing. This 77 team has arguably been the best Ford of the season in terms of consistent pace, but they have not had some of the results to show for it. And Yepes here, if he can just make his way around this final lap, he's going to have his first win of the season and get Ford's first win of the season. Ford has had some struggles this season, but this could be a big turning point for their operation here as Jeff James wisely gets out of Yepes' way. I'm sure Patrick Smith wished he got that same treatment. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse for SC Motorsports, the 29 has now suffered a brake failure, we're being told. And this looks like an even worse one. He's not even gonna bother going around one more time. He's just gonna park the car off track. And that's just salt in the wound, really, for Griffin and SG Motorsports at this point. Look at this battle for 14th here. We got a 3-car fight. Doug Lockrow, he's had a bit of a quiet day today. But look at this. He could be on track for a top 15 here. It's going to be one of their best finishes of the season since Daytona. Lockrow has survived the chaos. This team has put together a pretty good race of survival here, and they could be rewarded with a really strong finish here. Trying to go for 14th if he can get past Hannah Allen. This would be a massive pass if he can make it, and he does. What a pass by Lockrow. He's going to get into 14th place. Nice job. This 35 team, they've had some pretty strong runs for this team's level. I mean, I don't think a lot of people had some strong expectations, but this 35 team, they've done a really great job, and this is one of their strongest runs. Well, in terms of on-track action, it hasn't been the most exciting race, but if you love chaos and you love pit strategies, then this was the race for you, because coming off of the final corner, Diego Yepes, he is going to take the win for his first W of 2022. His first win, Turner Performance's first win, the Hardee Series, and Ford's first win as well. Capitalized off of the troubles of the three, kept themselves clean, held off Kev Shear. A great day at the office for Yepes. Kyle Collins holds off Bradley Bishop Jr. for second place. Jr. finishes third on the podium. Turner finishes fourth here. Bishop, I think, congratulating Collins next to him. John Arn, Nick Breeding, Gatlin Downey, Corey Williams, Noah Hart, and Alex Beniaco. That is your top 10. Oh, we got a wreck on the last lap. It isn't over yet. Oh, Ace Wild and Ryan Butcher in the wall. Ace Wild, who was in 20th place. Him and Butcher just... Someone got into Wild, I think. It might have been RJ Bishop. And oh boy, that is unfortunate. That 36 car was en route to a top 20 finish, and Butcher, who was just trying to rebound from what was a very forgettable day. We'll see. I think Butcher may be able to limp his car around, but I'm not sure about this 36. We'll have to hold off on the results and the points here for a moment to look at this. So what happens here? The 36 takes the white flag behind Krasta. RJ Bishop trying to use the lap car of Tyler Black as a pit, gets a run. Butcher sends it way up the inside. And Bishop, he just hooks wild into Butcher, who was en route to making one of the best passes of the season there. And that is a shame for all parties involved. RJ Bishop. Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to be a very popular move there. Yikes.